Reid and his inspired Indian team got off to their Pro League campaign on a positive note with fluent performances against the Dutch, but the next challenge for them would be tougher, as they take on the world champions and world #1 Belgium this weekend. The European champions are on top of the Pro League points table after having regained the world #1 position from Australia, but the hosts are ready for the Red Lions.
Yeah, ready to go. We had a week off, and then we've been training now for 2 weeks. So it's been a really good preparation, I think. Being more able to focus on the opponents this time, which is really good. I think the thing with Belgium is that before the World Cup, they perhaps lacked a little belief that they weren't #1 in the world. Now you see it in the way that they play, that they believe that they are #1 and they deserve to be #1. So I think that's perhaps a mind shift you see in the team. But for us, what's really important is that we perform at our best, and any team on their day can win or lose, and we will be going out to win. One of the things that I've been talking to the players a lot about is the winning mentality, and it really is good to win. Don't get me wrong, because we always try and do that. But also, you don't want to get too carried away with the wins. You know, when you look at the numbers behind the games against Holland, we put very good pressure on them, and we put scoreboard pressure on them, which means that we scored first and we were able to force the games in that way. What was also great about the second game was that we came back, and that to me is what I was really pleased about. We showed some real fight and a little bit of grunt that is always good to see in an Indian team. Yeah, I think you can get you can read too much into those things, and I think if I understand your Hindi, you were saying that we're more worried about what we can do,
Yes.
and I think that's the important part for us. It's about us, about what we need to do, and the players are very clear on what we're required from them. So that's what I prefer to focus on. We can't change the way that they play, but we can change the way that we play. No, we have a few different players playing tomorrow, and then you will get to see those players. Oh, well, yeah, we'd trained for a long time, and it was good to get that week. Also good for the players to get a little bit of time at home with families and things. I think that's really important. We especially have been trying to get a balance happening within our team, and when they get to go home and see their families, it's a nice thing for them, and I think it gives them a bit of a recharge, you know, get the batteries back up again, so it was great. Oh, look, I think probably the thing that I keep talking about is consistency of performance, and you get that through consistently performing highly in the training, on the training track. And so whenever we are training, I'm always trying to make sure that's the time where we need to push, because during a game, coaches, whether people understand that or not, we don't have a huge amount to contribute during the game, because the players are the ones out there playing. But on the training track is when we can really push them and get the things happening that we want to see. And our guys have been training very, very well and hard, and and of course what's good about the Pro League is that you now get a chance to get some return on what you've done, you know. So every 2 weeks or so, at the moment we're getting to play, which is a real positive. I think whenever you have a competition with the best teams in the world, I think that brings with it an importance of its own, and I think I know a lot of the other coaches and a lot of the other players of teams, and I certainly know with our team, is that every time we play, we want to win, and so I think you will get that. And it doesn't really matter who is playing and who is playing who and who is actually in the team. I think that's the mentality that that I think most of the top teams have, and you have to have that because you can't turn it on and off. That's the problem. People like to think that you can switch form on and switch it off and not play well today, but I'll play well tomorrow. Well, you know, that's a fallacy. You have to be able to play consistently to do that, especially when the teams at the moment are so close. You know, of course, if there are great differences in teams, then you know maybe you can do it a bit. But for me, the teams that are going to the Olympic Games, they're all very, very good teams. They're very similar. I think perhaps they have a little more Australian influence about them, and of course you know, Shane is a New Zealander, so he comes from our Australian part of the world. They've had people like Colin Batch and Adam Commons as coaches, so I think that's probably a bit of the difference.